Ohio State won 13 games in 2018 against FBS opponents with a combined overall winning percentage of .500. The Buckeyes won those 13 games by an average margin of victory of 20.3 points per game and stepped up against Big Ten opponents last year. The team won a Big Ten championship over Pat Fitzgerald and Northwestern in dominating fashion and defeated 9 conference opponents by an average margin of victory of 17.6 points per game in 2018. This was an offense under former offensive coordinator and new head coach in Ryan Day that set school records with Dwayne Haskins, 5,100 passing yards, and allowed Haskins to become a first-round draft pick of the Washington Redskins this past May. This year, it's former Georgia quarterback Justin Fields that gets to play with Ryan Day this coming year in this offense. Fields is an athletic quarterback that brings an added dimension to put pressure on opposing defenses on the perimeter with the ability to run the football. So we'll see how Ryan Day utilizes him in this offense in 2019. When you look at the wide receiver position, gone are leading wide receiver Paris Campbell and Terry McLaurin, but expect big play wide receiver KJ Hill to step up. He's a dynamic athlete that has great speed to take the top off opposing defenses vertically. When you look at leading rusher J.K. Dobbins, he comes back to the program along with 3 offensive line starters. This was an offense in 2018 that pounded the rock for 171 rushing yards per game. That was one of the worst rushing outputs for Ohio State since prior to 2009. So it really shows you the pass-heavy philosophy under Ryan Day entering the 2019 season. On the flip side, that's where the concerns are for the unit heading into the upcoming year. This was a defense in Ohio State that allowed 158 rushing yards in 2018 and needs to get better at the point of attack. That is why Ohio State hired former defensive line coach Greg Madison that is now on Ryan Day's staff. I expect a more physical, stronger front seven entering 2019, and that'll benefit this program heading into conference play later in the year. If you're looking for an Achilles heel for Ohio State last year, it was their ability to play very close games on the road or on a neutral field site. Ohio State was 6-1 overall on the road or on a neutral field site last year and won those 6 matchups by only 10 points per game. But they did lose to Purdue by 29 points. They also won 2 very close ball games against Penn State and against Maryland in College Park. Both of those games could have went to both the Nittany Lions and the Terps. Otherwise, Ohio State possibly could have had 3 losses in 2018. In order for Ohio State to win a Big Ten championship and crack the college football playoff, 2 critical road games come into mind this coming season: at Nebraska and at Michigan. Last year, Scott Frost and Nebraska came in and lost a very close ball game. They were able to run the football on the Buckeyes front seven. Adrian Martinez played very well. Now Ohio State has to go on the road to Lincoln. It'll probably be a primetime atmosphere. Should Ohio State get through that, they then have to face Michigan in the Big House later in the year. But Ohio State's dominated Michigan since 2000. Buckeyes are 16-2 over the Wolverines by 12.9 points per game and blew out Jim Harbaugh and the Wolverines last year in Columbus. This is the best team in the Big Ten. I expect Ohio State to crack their season win total of 10 and not only win a Big Ten championship, but get into the college football playoff this coming season.